Alright guys, welcome to the video for the Unit 3 study guide on transformations. Hopefully you have the sheet in front of you. Check your answers as you go through. Please let me know when you get to class before you do your retake any questions you may have. Now, when we talk about transformations, there's 4 specific transformations we've talked about. First, we talked about a reflection, which is just a mirror image. It's a mirror image over either the x-axis, the y-axis, the line y equals x, or the line y equals negative x. We have talked about a translation, which is just when you move the image. So you move it up, down, left, or right. We have done rotations, which is when you turn your image. Keep in mind, 90 degrees is 1 turn, 180 degrees is 2, and 270 is 3. Clockwise, we turn it to the right, and counterclockwise, we turn it to the left. And those are super important when it comes to the rotation, because if you turn it in the wrong direction, your answer, even though you might have found correctly, is wrong because you turned it the wrong way. The last type of transformation is a dilation, and that is just using a scale factor to make an image bigger or smaller. Now, if your number is greater than 1, it is bigger. If your number is smaller than 1, it is a smaller image. If we look at our first problem, we want to reflect over the line y equals negative x. Now, if you forget what the line y equals negative x is, please make sure to go to Desmos and plug it in. See what the line looks like, because if you draw the wrong line, no matter what, your answer is going to be wrong. Now, if I have the line y equals negative x, there's my line. Now, to find my points, I'm going to go either up or down first until I hit my line. So if I look at A, I go up 3. Now, if I go up or down first, then my second point, I'm either going to go right or left. And that second one depends on your line. Now, if I look at where I stopped, I'm going to either go right or left. Well, if I go left, I'm going to end up over here, which is on the same side as where we already are. We don't want that. We don't want to be on the same side of the line. If we're reflecting, it has to be on the opposite side. So in this case, I'm going to go to the right, and I'm going to go 3 spots to the right. That is now A prime. If I look at C, 1, 2, 3 spots down. So now, again, if I go right or left, if I go right, I end up on the same side, so I'm going to go left. 1, 2, 3. That point is my C prime. B, I only went 1 spot down, so I'm only going to go 1 spot over, and that is my B prime. So, if I connect that shape in the middle is my new image. It's okay that the images overlap each other because the line overlapped the shape. Sometimes that's going to happen. It's not always going to happen. But if the shape overlaps the line that you're reflecting over, you still do the same thing on both sides. Now, instead of A being on the left side of the line, it's going to be on the right side. And C and B started on the right side. They are now going to be on the left side. We want to rotate this shape 90 degrees counterclockwise. Now, the first thing you need to make sure you need to know how many times you're turning it and in which direction. So, 90 degrees tells me I have 1 turn. Counterclockwise tells me I'm going to turn it to the left. Now, you have the picture right in front of you because it's on a piece of paper. On your test, take your piece of graph paper and draw this shape out. It doesn't have to be the full length of the page, but draw it. I'm going to rotate my shape one time to the left. Well, now, this now becomes my x-axis. This now becomes my y. The right side is positive x's. The left side is negative x's. The top is positive y's. The bottom is negative y's. So, to find my new points, now we just need to see where they're located. If I go for A, I go 1 over and 2 down. So A prime is located at 1, negative 2. And this is why it's super important to label your points before you turn it. Now I know exactly which point is which, where if you don't label it, you don't know which point you're working with. B prime is going to be at 2, 3, and C prime is going to be at negative 1, 2. Now, you can rotate it back and draw your new shape and make sure it works. In this case, I didn't ask you to redraw it. We just wanted to find where the points are. But make sure when you go to draw these, you label your points A, B, and C as you draw them so that when you rotate, you know exactly which point falls where, instead of guessing, which could be the reason that you didn't get the question correct. We want to know what is the scale factor. Now, the important things we need to know. It can be one of two. It could be 12 divided by 4, or it can be 4 divided by 12. You need to know which is your image and which is your pre-image. Keep in mind, your pre-image, the word pre means before. So that's before you did any transformations to it. Your image is after you do the transformation. So to denote your pre-image, it is just a letter. Your image afterwards is A prime. You have to have that apostrophe. So you can be able to tell which one was your starting and where you ended. If you look, all the letters on the outside don't have the apostrophe. So these all are going to be my pre-image. All the letters on the inside all have the apostrophe, so those are my image. That's what it looks like after we dilated it. So, well, if you notice, to get from the pre-image to the image, each time it got smaller. So that tells me my answer has to be less than 1. Well, if I divide 12 by 4, I get 3. 3 is not less than 1. So I'm going to take 4 over 12, or I'm going to take 6 over 18. Either way, they both simplify down to 1/3, and 1/3 is my scale factor. But make sure you're paying attention specifically to which picture is your image and which picture is your pre-image. Now, I want to know what is the pre-image of -2, -5 under the translation xy goes to x plus 3, y minus 7. Now, the important thing here is the vocab. It is asking what is the pre-image. So I need to know what is point A. I know that A prime is -2, -5. And we know it went under the translation x plus 3, y minus 7. Well, I can put x and y here, and I'm going to put plus 3 minus 7. Well, whatever number we have for x, plus 3 equals -2. So I'm going to set that up, x plus 3 equals -2. And all I did was use the translation they gave me and my new image. If I use algebra to solve it, x is going to equal -5. For the y's, we know y minus 7 equals -5. So that's how I'm going to write my equation. Y minus 7 equals -5. Using algebra to solve, I'm going to get y is equal to 2. So my new coordinate point is -5, 2. That is my pre-image of my point. But you have to make sure you pay attention to the vocab, because had you just taken -2 plus 3 and -5 minus 7, that would become your new image. That's not your pre-image. It gives you your image, and you have to find your pre-image. Name the image of 4, 7 under a reflection across the line y equals x. Now, first things first, we're going to plot our point. And again, you have it in front of you, so that's great. On the test, use your graph paper and draw a coordinate plane and graph it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there is my point, and I'm just going to call it point A, but there is my point 4, 7. Now, we need to reflect it across the line y equals x. If you don't remember what it looks like, please go to Desmos. Please go to the handout calculator. So, there is my line. Now, just like earlier when we did y equals negative x, it's the same idea. I want you to go either up or down first, and then you're going to go right or left depending on your line. So, if I look and go down, I went 3 spots down. Now, whether I go left or right, if I go to the left, I'm still on the same side of my reflection line as I started, and we don't want to be. We want to reflect it across that line. So I'm going to go 3 spots to the right. That is now my A prime. And if we want to talk about where A prime is now at 7, 4. Please make sure that you're doing the work for these. Please make sure that you're drawing them out and counting carefully. A lot of times there's little mistakes made because we start to rush because it almost seems too easy or we're overconfident. So please make sure you just slow down and double check all your work as you're going through. Please bring any questions you have to me before you do the retake.